In phrasing it in a 5-year period, Benny has been and still is more optimistic than I am. Though we are similarly doubtful, from the time that I knew about this character's existence until now, I could have become more optimistic, and yet still have not. As disconnected as people have begun to realize they are with 2019, 2020, I am that disconnected as a standard anyway, and not because there are terrible things happening around all the time, but just because it's easier to deal with being aware of my surroundings as a millennial. Just in the period of time that I exist means that I have to watch people literally burn the planet to the ground to where we won't be able to be here anymore. And it's not alarming to people. It's just a weird, disconnected state of being. He can literally just choose to be like, well, I gotta have more energy to do this next thing. He can rejuvenate lost energy. So it's not to say that he can't get tired, but he can kind of just be like, get up and start the next set of the day. You know what I mean? He can just be like, that was a fucking nightmare. And then also, I still gotta go get groceries to make dinner. Benny's character would have a Cotter character somewhere in his life, regardless of what portion of Benny's story we were really looking at. Benny, I don't think, would operate or would be able to think about operating without some partnership. So I think that's his biggest weakness, is that he wouldn't be able to do it without that partnership. And I mean like a partnership. I know this is fucked up, guys, but sometimes in like a really classically thought of way, you could just want your community to be doing good. But I mean, sometimes you're in a toxic community. Sometimes that's a bad thing, and you could still want your community to do good. So his biggest real gripe is that his friend is upset, and I think that's an empathetic problem. His solution isn't to go hunt down the man who took something away from him. It's just that he can see his friend is putting himself in a rut, and he would like that to not be the case. I don't think the relationship is holding him back. He's apparently empathetic. He is still working regularly. He has enough level of success that it's identifiable by his friends. Cotter right now in the story, to Benny, may not seem as if he's holding him back. Maybe in the conversation circular is fun. I don't think that Benny's need for companionship means that whoever is his companion is going to be the source of his woes. It's the fact that Benny needs companionship. That's toxic. Benny couldn't not want to be there. And that's dangerous for a lot of reasons. I understand Benny as a character who is trying to do better than his situation is allowing. It doesn't make sense to me someone who's trying to worsen their situation. But that person exists. And we're not all like superheroes, and we're not all magic men. We're gonna make every situation healthier. I forget her name. I'm so sorry, but she was supposed to be like the first like black starlet of soap operas back in the time when you would say things like starlet. And she said she wanted to play the first black bitch on TV. Or a black bitch in Hollywood. She wanted to be the villainess, not but you know, she's really well spoken, so she's one of the good ones. Like, she wanted to be high rolling and better than all of you and actually a real villain. And that person exists. We have to have enough emotional space to know that that angry person exists. Benny is a more optimistic person than I am. I am much more realistic than Benny is. So I naturally would end up being more likely towards depression than Benny. I would not be able to invest the energy in that situation. Benny and I are different in the fact that his brain genuinely will let him see this situation that is not moving forward, and still go, but it could work out. The whole thing is me trying to tell him like, hey man, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Oh, she punched you? Well, it's not that bad. That's kind of her thing. It's not that bad. I would have been like, so someone assaulted you. What did occur? Do you have a solution? Yes or no? I'm in my room. I think Benny would have known a history of Cotter being maybe more emotionally intelligent than he's presenting at the moment. He has some capability with people that he's not expressing because he's sitting on the couch inside. Benny would like that. In anime, they always use rivals. Use someone who just keeps, right when you're about to, they always just. I think it would be a trait that Benny would also have, but maybe not see it in Benny. And just be like, well, I don't have this trait, but I'll make up for it with hard work. And he doesn't realize that he also has that trait. And then it's a sort of like we both do this thing. Even though subconsciously I'm saying I don't do it and you do. And I realize because you're not doing it anymore that I actually want you to do it again too. So I can say that you do it and I don't. If Cotter's not doing that now anymore, someone's got to rev the engine so he can get back to doing it again. Then my character can start feeling like, yeah, we're both out here doing the thing. I think he is realistic enough to literally look at his life progression and Cotter's life progression and just be able to understand like, yeah, Cotter and I are kind of swinging somewhere near the same weight because of several advantages he has had. It looks like, I wouldn't know, Benny wouldn't know, but it looks like when you have those advantages, it kind of makes you relax into this position. So it doesn't really seem like something to be jealous of. You know what I mean? For Benny. It's like, I know Cotter has this trait that I think is a good trait, and then maybe I also think I have this trait too, and I could, it'd be good to have someone around who also has that trait. But something is softening you. Yeah, that's one of those things too, that kind of for the same reason that I would reject Pam, or she to try to approach me sexually, for the same reason, I'm kind of like, damn, Cotter. It's not a good look. But then I'm also like, yeah, but we are actually adults. We are actually in our 20s. After, like, first thinking like, Pam? Moira's little sister? Then I'm like, oh, but it's just sex. It's poorly timed. It's just sex. Okay, Moira would be mad. I get it. Whatever age, Moira would be mad. Whatever age, Moira would be mad. Whatever age. They could be in their 40s. And she's like, so you had a baby, huh? Whatever, Pam. I enjoyed being a part of the project. I enjoyed playing Benny. My relatives that saw the trailer are all hype, whatnot. And I would like to do more of the same kind of work with the same kind of crew we had, and even just have more and more rehearsal. Like, I would just, because I can tell that there are like even more skills to obtain and enact. Just like with the plays, it's possible. There could be stuff I don't know about existing right now that I do enough times that I'm like, yeah, that's definitely a thing that exists. But I can only do that if I do more projects. And I think in the future I would like to do things where the character differs from me more and more and more and more. Yeah, but Benny was definitely a good way to go. Benny felt very realistic to play. Thank you. Recording's on. I live in the shadow world. I get the weird esoteric talk. I get when people are kind of like, oh, I'm just stumbling over my words. I get what you're getting at. I get that woo-woo stuff.